Everybody needs good neighbours with a little understanding. You can find the perfect blend. Neighbours should be there for one another. That's when good neighbours become good friends.
Thank you. Yes, bye, Sergeant. Well, you can stop worrying, Terry. A man fitting Gordon's description was seen in Queensland. They reckon they'll have him in a day or two. He probably put that letter in the letterbox before he left. He just wanted to scare you.
What if they're wrong? What if it isn't him? They might have made a mistake.
Oh, I'm sure they know what they're doing. Anyway, they'll keep an eye on your old place just in case. Look, you're quite safe here. A couple of detectives are going to drop by later today and interview you.
I don't want the police around here.
Why not?
Because what if Des or Daphne's here? How about the police car? How do I explain that? I'll bring them back and I'll go there tomorrow. I'd much rather we kept this to ourselves.
Hey, I see your point. Terry, Gordon will be back inside soon. This isn't going to go on forever.
I know. I'll be all right.
Just remember that he's got no way of knowing where you are. You're safe, I promise.
I'll be fine. Hadn't you better get going? Had enough hassles over me without losing your job as well.
I suppose. But I don't like the idea of leaving here by yourself.
I'll be fine. Come on. I promise not to open the door to any boogeymen or any strangers.
Okay. But I'll be back as soon as I can, all right?
You start to get awfully sick of me.
No way. Hello, this is Shane Ramsay, Mrs. Fielding's chauffeur.
I'd like to speak to Mrs. Fielding.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mrs. Fielding's not available at the moment. Can I take a message?
It's urgent. Do you know where you can find her?
Yes, but she left strict instructions not to be disturbed.
Well, you don't understand. This is very important.
Look, she won't be any more than 20 minutes. Can I get her to ring you back?
No. Find her immediately and tell her to ring John Peterson at the office. Have you got that?
Yes.
Thank you.
There, is that better?
Much, thank you, darling. How are you going with those new accounts?
Dan, you have got to stop worrying about the business. It's what put you here in the first place, remember? Now, everything is fine.
I know I can count on you.
There we are, sir. This is Mr. Fielding's room.
You've made such a mistake, haven't you? Being tied to a useless old man like me.
The only mistake I made was not meeting you sooner.
I'm a lucky man, Linda. If it hadn't been for you, I'd never have pulled through all those operations.
Of course you would. Did Dr. Williams tell you the good news?
That I can go home soon?
Mm-hmm.
I think he was only trying to bolster my spirits.
Not true. You're going to be out of here in a couple of weeks.
I hope so.
You will. And the house up north is all ready. I've been bullying the tradesmen for months, just so they get it finished in time. All it needs now is you and me living in it.
Oh, I'd like that.
Me too.
I'm sorry to trouble you, Mrs. Fielding.
What are you doing here? I told you to meet me outside. Dan, I'm sorry. I'll be back in a moment. What the the hell do you think you're doing? I thought I made it perfectly clear that you were to wait for me in the car.
I know, but Mr. Peterson rang.
And
He
who's your
insisted.
boss, me or Mr. Peterson?
You are.
Look, my husband has been very ill, and when I come to visit him, nothing gets in the way of the few precious hours we spend together. Now go back to the car and we'll discuss this intrusion of yours later. John, it's Linda. What's happened?
Linda, why didn't you get back to me?
Because I had something more important to do, that's why.
You've got to get over here. It's NAG Industries. They're refusing to sign the contract unless we delete the no-fault strike clause.
John, you're panicking over nothing. They threaten that every year, and every year they sign.
They say they're adamant.
They're always adamant. Look, I'm at the hospital.
Oh, yes, of course. How is Mr. Fielding?
Actually, he's much better. All going well, he should be out in a couple of weeks.
Ah, that is good.
Yes, it is. Now, look, I'll see you soon. Oh, and John, when I leave instructions with my chauffeur not to be disturbed, don't tell him to do otherwise, all right?
Yes. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Right to the office, please.
Right. Mrs. Fielding, I'm sorry I came in. I shouldn't have, I know.
I don't like making idle threats, but I'll let it go this time. On the condition you do not discuss anything you may have seen or heard with any other Fielding employee. Do you understand?
Yes.
Good. Now let's get going. I'm in a hurry.
You sure you can eat all this?
Yep. Why not?
Just because you've been stuffing your face since you came back from school.
Well, I need all the energy I can get. I'm a growing boy, remember?
You say so? Although I think of you as a bottomless pit.
Thanks. What's for dinner?
Danny?
Only joking.
Seen this? You seen this?
What?
Bloke who ran into chains escaped from jail.
That's the guy that ran into me in Shane.
I just said that, didn't I?
Miller escaped from the police van. How on earth he managed to do this?
It's not the point. Point is he ought to be in jail and he's not. So much for police security.
Wow. He must be really intelligent. Imagine getting away from all those cops.
That's the sort of remark I'd expect from you. I mean, how can you say that after what he done to your brother?
Well, just because he's a crook doesn't mean he has to be dumb.
Suppose you think he's clever for what he done to Shane, do you?
Of course I don't.
Now look, as far as I'm concerned, he's a thug. As soon as the cops catch up to him, I hope they shoot him on sight.
Yeah, well, that'd be murder.
Yeah, well, call it what you like. He turns up round here, I'll tear him limb from limb.
You reckon he will?
Of course not. Got the brains you reckon he has, he's probably interstate by now.
Or even overseas.
Julie, come on, you'll be late.
Good morning.
Well, you look nice. Are you going out after work?
No. Where is everyone? I mean, I know Lucy stayed at a friend's place.
Well, Paul's gone to training, and your dad's left for work, and I don't like to think where Scott might be.
Oh, well, I wouldn't worry too much.
I'm not.
Look, Grant, would you mind too much if I didn't have this? I mean, it looks delicious. But I'm starting a diet today.
What on earth for?
Oh, well, I mean, I've put on a couple of pounds and I don't want them to get a hold, you know.
I don't think that's terribly likely.
Yes, I know, but would you mind?
No, not at all.
Good. Thank you.
Save me cooking something for myself. Yeah?
Gran, would you like to borrow the car today? Because if you'd like, I can get Des to give me a lift.
No, you take it.
No, come on, you might think of something you need it for later. I mean, I feel awfully selfish taking him there every day and having it sit there all day. It is your car as well. You paid for half of it.
Are you sure?
Yes, please. I'd feel much better.
All right, thanks. Thanks very much.
It's all right.
Julie, what's got into you?
What do you mean?
Well, you were very nice about the dress with Lucy and the car and now the diet. Are you up to something?
No, that's me. Anyway, look, I'm going out the back to pick some flowers, brighten up the bank a little, you know.
Well, Mum, have you decided what sort of job you're going for?
Not yet. Your father wants me to stay at home and take care about you too.
That's crazy.
What for? Change our nappies?
I know.
You should go and work for him. He needs an apprentice plumber.
That's not funny. It's a pity I don't have really any qualifications.
You could always go back to school and get your HSC.
Oh, that's a thought. I could go to school with Denny. You'd like it, wouldn't you?
Great, Mum.
Time!
Talk of the devil.
Look at that.
Okay, Dad.
Bad news, isn't it, son?
What?
About the fellow Miller escaping.
Oh, they'll catch him in a day or two.
And when they do, Dad wants the cops to murder Miller.
Shut up, Denny.
That's what you said,
Look,
Dad.
just keep out of it, Daddy. Just thinking about him being free makes me feel sick. I mean, after the way he ruined your career.
Well, nothing we can do about it. No point in worrying.
I don't understand you, son. Doesn't it bother you at all?
Not enough to get him knots over it. I better be off. Look, I want to have a word with Des before I go to work.
Now, hang on. That's all you got to say about it?
Well, what do you want me to do, Dad? Form a vigilante group or something? Look, getting angry isn't going to help catch him. I'll see you all later.
Bye, darling.
Yeah. Drive carefully, won't you, son? Shake. Strike me. A bloke who nearly killed him, escapes from jail, he acts like nothing happened. I don't understand him.
Max, you had an interview yesterday. How did it go?
It didn't.
Why not?
I didn't like him.
Hi, mate.
Oh, g'day. Come over to see your lady friend, have you?
Yeah, how is she?
Oh, fine. I haven't seen much of her yet, but... Hey, I had a really late night last night. Met this air hostess, and mate, you should see her.
Des, can we talk about this later?
Don't you want to hear about the details? I mean, this only happens to me once in a blue moon.
I know, mate, but later, okay?
Yeah, sure. The door's open.
Who is it?
It's me, Shay.
Hi. Is everything all right?
You just gave me a bit of a fright when you tried to open the door, that's all.
Oh, I'm sorry, but Des told me to be open.
I locked it as soon as he left. Pretty silly, eh?
Nah, it's sensible. Any chance of a coffee?
Thanks for coming over. It's good to see you.
Ah, it's good to see you too. How were you last night?
All right, the others went out, but I was okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I thought they'd be home. It's a pity I had to work.
You'll have to stop worrying about me now. I'm a big girl and all that.
Aw. Doesn't mean I can't help out from time to time, does it?
No. I think that if Gordon was going to do anything, he'd have done it by now.
Did you call the police?
They said pretty much the same as what they told you.
You don't seem as anxious anymore.
Made a decision. I've decided that I'm going to get on with everyday living and just forget all about it.
Oh, I'm sorry I'm late, Des. I seem to have 1,000,001 things to do this morning.
That's okay. The car needed some water anyway.
Did it? Listen, thank you for the lift. Gran really wanted to use the car and I didn't want to say no.
Of course not. Quite convenient, in fact.
I don't know what you're talking about, Des.
Oh, well, that's it. I suppose we better hit the grind before the new boss gets twitchy. Wouldn't want to have to give you a lift home as well. So, what do you think of him?
Oh, I don't know, really.
Saw you having a drink with him the other night. You must have some opinion.
Yes, well, I think he's quite nice, I suppose. I mean, I just had a drink with him to be polite. You know what it's like.
Yeah, well, I know what it looked like.
Look, what are you getting at, Des?
Well, only that you probably shouldn't mix business with pleasure.
You can talk. What about Lorraine, Des? What about Marilyn? I know you've taken her out because she's told me.
Sure.
Yes, yes.
But there's a big difference between me and Philip Martin. I'm not a married man with 2 kids.
Oh, Julie, come in.
Here's a file that you asked for.
Oh, thank you. You didn't put these here by any chance?
Well, we've got so many in the garden, I thought a few here might brighten the place up a bit.
Oh, they have, enormously. And I also want to thank you for your advice on those blinds. I put them up last night and the place looks terrific.
Oh, good, good. That's my pleasure. If it's a bother, just say. But my car's still being serviced and I wondered if you could give me a lift home tonight.
Yes, of course, and it's no bother.
Oh, you sure? I'm not putting you out?
Not in the slightest.
Thank you.
You've been having a bit of trouble with that car of yours, haven't you?
Haven't I?
You sure there's not some extortion going on?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, the garage isn't taking advantage of you.
Oh, yes. I think it is.
I'm not interrupting, am
I? No, of course not.
No, I just need you to check these audits. Shouldn't take you long.
Oh,
well, if you'll excuse me.
Yes. Oh, and Julie, I wouldn't worry about that car of yours. I can run you home till they fix it.
Yep.
Now, these are for head office, and I want these delivered to the warehouse.
Okay. Does it matter which one I go to first?
Head office, the others aren't so urgent.
Right. Is there anything else?
No, that's a lot. Oh, wait a moment, there is something else. Now, I want you to take this to Mr. Edmund and don't leave it at his desk. Make sure that he gets it personally, all right?
Yes, Mrs. Fielding.
Well, off you go then.
Yes, Mrs. Fielding.
Hello?
Yes, Mrs. Fielding. No, Mrs. Fielding. Anything you say, Mrs. Fielding.
Shane, wait. You've got to take me to the hospital immediately. My husband's had a heart attack.
Hello, wait here.
Yes, please.
Mrs. Fielding, I hope your husband's all right.
Take me home, please.